When it comes to jobs in the entertainment industry, most people think of actors, directors, or cinematographers. But behind every scene, there's a whole world of skilled professionals you rarely see. People whose hands and technical know-how make the magic possible. Every switch flipped, every monitor powered, every image calibrated just right. This iconic moment from Marvel Studios' WandaVision wouldn't exist without people like Terry Fitzpatrick.
This is my studio, 24 ATL Studios, and prop house. All vintage and period TVs and broadcast monitors. I not only present the LED wall for car process shoots, I am an engineer, LED playback supervisor. I also rent out period televisions for TV shows and movies like WandaVision, Loki, Fly Me to the Moon. Most of the stuff filmed in Atlanta, if it's period, is usually my televisions, and I also work on set, making everything work so there's no flicker and everything is period correct.
Terry didn't take the traditional film school route. He chose trade school and built a career that connected vintage technology to modern storytelling.
It does not take a college degree to do this.
From iconic superhero franchises to live sports broadcasts, his work blends old school analog with next generation digital, making sure that every screen and every signal looked exactly right.
Does anybody know what this is?
Yeah,
It looks like a...
It's an old comedy movie with
No, well, yeah.
Oh, the 4 minute.
Oh, well, that's good. Airplane, yes.
It looks
Oh,
kind of
laser
like a record player size.
You are, well, you're right. So this is called Select-O-Vision Video Disc. This came right before the Laserdisc, and Laserdisc put it out of business. And this is a vinyl record inside. So you slip this in.
What? I thought it was a case.
What? Yeah. You slip this in, and it actually takes the record out of the case, so you never touch it. It's kind of like VHS quality. A little bit better than VHS. They figured out how to get video on a vinyl record.
This is more interesting to me than streaming.
See, where most people might see an old TV, Terry sees a puzzle, layers of circuitry and timing that need to line up just right.
My skill set has always been technical. You know, ever since I took radio and TV repair in high school, which was a trade school, that's what gives me this opportunity.
His craft underscores that how things work can be just as powerful as knowing how to act, direct, or write.
When you see a TV show or movie and you see what's on the screen, most people don't think about what it takes to get that final result. There's so many different aspects, so many different skill sets, from the person doing makeup to the person being the script supervisor to just, I guess what I do, which is implement a television that the camera sees and make that all work correctly. I figured out a niche when movies started coming to Atlanta. I was doing video assist on some TV shows, and then they would come to me, oh, we need you to do playback. And I started realizing that these shows, there was a need for period televisions. And as I was kind of collecting them, getting them ready, shows started coming up where they needed them. In 10th and 11th grade, I took radio and TV repair 1 and 2. And I was like, okay. And I started building these TVs and re-engineering them. I gutted all these computer monitors for a show called Kill the Messenger. And I provided over 30 computer monitors that they could fill a whole newspaper set with and light these things up with re-engineered computer screens, and they didn't flicker.
Have you noticed that Terry keeps talking about flicker with TVs? That's actually a pretty important thing, because what he just talked about actually points to one of those invisible problems that only people like Terry know how to fix. See, when cameras film something, they capture a series of still images every second, called frames per second or FPS. The higher the number, the smoother the motion appears. In fact, you can actually see this right now. Grab your cell phone and open up the camera. Now, go into your video settings, and most phones, like the iPhone, default in the video to 30 frames per second. But you can bump that to 60 for ultra smooth motion, which is helpful for stuff with lots of fast motion that you may want to slow down to do slow motion or something like that. Or you can drop it to 24 frames per second, which is what most movies use to get that cinematic look. Now, Here's where it gets actually really technical. A TV screen refreshes its image multiple times per second. That's called the refresh rate, measured in hertz. Most modern TVs refresh at 60 hertz or 120 hertz, meaning that they redraw the image 60 or 120 times every second. But the content being displayed matters too. For example, if Terry is playing back vintage footage for the show Stranger Things, he might be dealing with content shot at different frame rates, which adds a whole nother layer of complexity to everything. Now imagine the camera is capturing at 24 frames per second, while the TV is refreshing at 60 times per second. Those two rates don't divide evenly. 60 divided by 24 equals 2.5, which means each camera frame captures a slightly different portion of the TV's refresh cycle. Stay with me on this. The result is what you're seeing right now. Inconsistent brightness levels between frames that appear as flickering or rolling bands across the screen. That subtle flicker comes from the mismatch between how fast the light source updates and how fast the camera is sampling it. So to fix that, professionals like Terry use flicker-free monitors designed for film production, or they carefully sync the camera's shutter speed and frame rate to match the display's refresh cycle. Sometimes they'll even build custom playback systems that feed the monitor content in perfect sync with the camera's timing. That's the kind of behind-the-scenes expertise that keeps a production running, and in Terry's case, it's what makes shows that he's worked on like Stranger Things look authentic, frame by frame. It's also a reminder that no skill goes to waste. Terry had no idea that one day he'd be using his technical education to bring vintage televisions to life for a hit Netflix series. So whatever it is you're into, whether it's wiring, welding, building, or fixing up televisions, learn everything you can. Stay curious. Keep sharpening your craft, because you never know where your skills might take you.
So this was what I presented for Stranger Things. You see the first. This was first episode when 11 was introduced to a television. I did the playback with 11, so we synchronized her watching TV, and then I did the channel changing for my car. Everybody, I guess these days wants to be a director. That's okay, but there's a lot of other things you have to know. All the other skill sets first to become a director. You have to know how every job works, from the lighting to the sound to the makeup. Before the movie industry, I started out as working in production, and I was a news cameraman for the local affiliates here in Atlanta. Also did sound, which I still do sound for NFL Films. They send me their equipment, I go in, I set up in the broadcast booth, and I put microphones on a couple of the players for the offense so that you can hear the quarterback's call. It's been quite a career.
Sadly, between the filming of this episode and the release of this video, Terry passed away. But his story and his legacy continue. We get to enjoy some of the most iconic moments in film, TV, and sports because of people like Terry Fitzpatrick. His obsession with how things work didn't just give him a career, it gave the world a way to remember where we came from. And really, that's where you come in. What grabs your attention? What do you want to learn so well that you could build a life around it? Because the trades aren't just about making a living. They're about making something that lasts. If you're ready to start your story, we have lots of resources over at skillsjam.com that you can check out to see where your skills can take you. Terry proved it. The trades don't just build our world, they build the worlds we imagine. And his mission continues: build the future of production while preserving the soul of the past.